This podcast is brought to you by Kempower, the reliable, quick, and scalable EV charging solutions for everyone and everywhere. And StarCharge, the largest EV charging manufacturer in the world, and is also a provider of residential and commercial battery storage. Hello, and welcome back to the Out of Spec podcast. You catch us on a live mobile version at where? The Chicago Auto Show, of course. Well, you know, we usually go to auto shows, but they've changed over the years. We're always excited to see what kind of EVs, EV charging, information, products, services there are at these auto shows. So I've joined Kyle. I actually took the train up here to Chicago, which was really fun. Podcast for another time. And we're going to take you on a tour of the EVs, and like I said, anything really electric that we find along the way. Kyle, are you ready for this?
I'm not showing any electric cars right now.
No, those are not electric. If you're tuning in on UB2Bs, come with us. Where should we start? With the giant Volta screen here?
Sure, well, we got a charger right up front, so I figured, you know, Francie and I can just chat cars. She can ask questions, I can ask questions. Maybe we'll meet some people. You never know what happens on these, and I figured it's sort of a walking tour podcast. And better if you're listening on audio, this will be really enhanced on video, I think.
For sure, but yeah. I'll make sure to describe things for your beautiful little ears. And yeah, so we were at a Volta charger. This brand is known for their giant screens. They're really taking advantage of the advertising aspect at EV chargers. You can see the CCS cable. Kyle, how does that feel in your hands? Have you used one of these?
You know, I've never used one of the DC Voltas before. I've used the AC ones, and they're now updated, some of them, to even 48 or 80 amps.
Nice.
AC. I believe they use Clipper Creek stuff inside. It's a division of Shell now. They've been purchased. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea, but for DC charging, I think it's a tough sell.
Yeah,
because it's so expensive.
It's very expensive. I've seen these at movie theaters, and that's where I think, you know, the slower charging actually is a great fit. You're there for 2 hours.
Absolutely. If you can put 80 amp chargers in these things, with Lightning's now having 80 amp onboard chargers, with Lyrics, with, I don't know, every other insert vehicle here with 80 amp charger, that's awesome.
But is it worth a giant screen?
I think it's up to the advertisers. Yeah. We'll have to see. I mean, they went out of business once. Let's see what happens with Shell.
All right, patience.
Okay, Ford right up front. By the way, a ton of people coming in.
Yes.
So it's getting quite busy around here.
Yeah, it just got busy. We have a flood of new friends to meet. So yeah, Ford. We've been talking to a lot of the Ford people at this event so far, and I think we're just really understanding the different approaches that different automakers have for the utility and usability of their EVs, how they approach them. We kind of have an idea that Ford might be more of a truck that is electric than an electric truck. What do you think about that sentiment, Kyle?
Well, it literally is an F-150 with a battery in it. So I think that sounds pretty accurate to me. This one's an F-150 Lightning Lariat, this particular one. It's optioned with the big screen, with the glass roof, and I'm imagining extended range battery pack. But there's some updates coming for model year 24. There's a heat pump pumping vapor injection heat pump. I need to learn more about exactly how that works. And we talked to some of the engineers yesterday about that. That was interesting. But more to come. They are actually being pretty quiet about what's coming in the next model year. But it's already 2024, so I'm thinking it'll be very soon that we'll start seeing these. But more importantly, I mean, we've covered F-150 Lightning on this channel a ton, is Ford's going to be the first automaker to have access to the supercharger network with the NACS adapter.
Yes, so Jim Farley, y'all probably listened to the other podcast episode with Patrick and Liv from the Mach-E vlog, where we all talked about how the Ford adapter that is going to be free is coming to Mach-E, and F-150 Lightning owners, they're going to be the first ones led on to the Tesla supercharger network, which will be exciting to see how that happens. And then I'm sure lots of trial and error there. Yeah,
and I just got some communication from Ford, by the way. Bronco, Raptor, hell yeah. Diffs are locked, so they're squealing the tires a little bit. Just go for a jump it. Lame, they need to send it harder. But they got the doors off. I just received some communication from Ford that we are going to be hearing from them very soon about using the adapter.
Oh, okay. Very
cool.
So
very exciting. Let's go in. They have some cool stuff in the display. You know, of course, you have the new generation Mustang. You have Raptor R, which I love. These are not electric, but what I really want is an electric F-150 Raptor.
Okay, tell me why.
because I love this thing. It's on 37s. This has got a 700 horsepower supercharged V8 out of the GT500, some adaptations. I love all that stuff. I love big, beefy trucks. I love that they're just doing turns with the diffs locked. That's hilarious. You know, I just think if you can juice up the electric drivetrain in the standard truck, which already is very fast, and then have this crazy suspension setup, that to me is the perfect truck.
And we got to see the switchgear yesterday.
It's just in here. Yeah.
Great. And so basically kind of what Ford has done, which is different, they have tons of ICE options, right? They really only have a limited selection of electric, going from legacy to EV. Do you think that's the approach? Just going small, trying to perfect little things, the Mach-E, the F-150 Lightning, before trying to shoot it?
Well, what I would say Ford did is they electrified their icons. So they did their Mustang, which is this right here, and this is the rally version, which is on like OZ inspired aero wheels, looking super cool. And you know, I think this is the one I would go for, because you get basically the GT drivetrain, just awesome styling, all this stuff, and it should be good in Colorado on the dirt roads. And so I think that's a good approach. The F-150 was a no-brainer, really getting that one done. I'm liking the new green on bronze color combination on this as well. There's no more GT Performance or GT. It's now just GT, I think, on Mustang, which I learned yesterday.
And did you get any reasoning to why that might be?
I think it's just reducing the complications of an order, as an example. You know, they had two different versions of GT, so now MagRide standard. What do we have over here?
Well, just like you said, they are the iconic.
We got all of our Ford friends over here, front gating over here, and cool, blacked out F-150 Lightning Platinum. This thing looks sick. I think, was this a special one? This is the, what is this? Yeah, my dad filmed it. I think this is the one my dad did the video in the studio.
Number 0.
Yeah, okay, hell yeah. So yeah, looks good. No more charge port on this side of the vehicle, you'll notice. That's kind of interesting, and I gotta check the charge port on that side.
Yeah.
But Francie, before we do that, what, you got something over here for us?
Do what?
Well, you were standing over here.
Yeah, well, you know, I just was taking a look kind of at the charging here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, walk us through. What does Ford offer?
Well, let's see. So they've got the mobile power cord, of course. Keep that in your front for those situations, or on a road trip.
Absolutely.
Hang out with your friend. Of course, the Ford connected charge station, up to 48 amps, 240 volts.
I've never seen one of these installed.
Okay.
I'm not saying they aren't installed. I've just never seen one.
Okay.
This was shipped with all of the high trim Lightning extended ranges, which is an 80 amp bi-directional. So this is what Tom has in the background of every one of his videos.
Yes, Tom Malogny State of Charge. Really great at-home charger resources.
He also has this full Ford power thing. So if you want to know more about this, just Tom did a whole video on the Ford backup thing.
I'm, of course, really interested in the bidirectionality of EVs. I think some have said that they will come out with them, but then they don't really maybe have that ability right away.
Yeah, we'll go to GM later.
Okay, let's keep walking.
No, I want to go check out this. So this is I think the same truck my dad filmed at the studio in New York, but I just heard a rumor that maybe the charge port was slightly different. So I want to check it out. They got this thing sitting at 99% state of charge. Holy smokes, they really got it up there. Yeah. But okay, yeah, maybe no major difference from my side. It's a little bit easier to close, I would say.
Okay, so yeah,
nothing
Kyle,
major.
It's just opening and closing the charge port on the F-150 Lightning here.
Yeah, but of course everyone knows the Lightning, 131 kilowatt hour usable pack, dual motor, diff locker in the back, 80 amp onboard charger, 175-ish kilowatt peak charging. It's a great truck, great thermal management. It is, honestly, I think if I was just a dude doing work, it's my pick of all the electric trucks. But we will see Silverado EV, we will see, I think Sierra EV should be here, but I haven't seen it yet. Cybertruck is here.
Yes.
And I haven't seen a Rivian.
No Rivians, I don't think.
Okay.
So can you tell me about the battery? The Mach-E is such a popular EV. What is the battery? What is the range that you know? Yeah,
well, the range is pretty good, especially on like the big battery rear wheel drive California Route 1s. You're talking over 300 miles in real world conditions. I think I was on track for like 330, 340 over the Rocky Mountains.
Wonderful.
It's a 99 kilowatt hour gross battery pack. They originally shipped with 88 usable, but then there was a software update that unlocked them to 91 kilowatt hour usable.
Look at that.
The problem is high voltage junction box, heater power for preconditioning, whole bunch of other, like, it's just a first gen product and it's time for a refresh. And for 24, it will be refreshed in terms of a technical update.
Okay, charge speeds?
Yeah, not good. I want to say 150 kilowatts max, and then it kind of sits at 120.
Okay.
All Fords have this like boost profile because they undersize their contactors, they undersize their wiring.
Yes.
They're not maxing out the battery, they're maxing out the cabling.
Yes.
And that bothers me more than anything.
Okay, why? Tell me about that.
Because if the battery, like, size your components for what the battery needs. Don't let my inlet port be the issue for charging. So then you have to run an arbitrary time limit boost, which is just annoying. Yeah. This is sick. I know it's not electric, but this is the new Mustang GTD, talking many hundreds of thousands of dollars, starting with a $300 and something thousand. It's basically, it's basically a race car for the street. It's so cool. I can't wait to drive it. Patrick Patrick and Liv from Mach-E Vlog are really good friends of ours. I couldn't make it to the switchgear unveiling, but Patrick went to the Ford Performance Center, also where they're building these things by hand, and got to go on the production line and check all that out, and that was super cool. It's getting busy around here.
Getting busy, and we're making our way over to the Ford F-150 switchgear.
Yeah, the Lightning switchgear.
Yes.
We were with Sriram, who's responsible for all of the, oh, here he is right over here. Awesome. He's responsible for all of the crazy builds and everything, so he's just the best, and he's basically built the electric van, super van 4.0, 4.2 coming.
Yes.
We got all crazy seats in here.
Hi.
Hey, Sriram, how's it going? Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about?
Can we throw you on camera?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Here,
you can take my microphone.
You can look inside too if you want. I mean, it's all good.
Well,
I'm
walk us
using
through
it
this
as my
briefly.
office right now. So
Nice.
I've been working in there using the Kempower on board, stuff like that. But yeah, so it's this is like us showing you guys our homework, because we are using this as a test bed and a demonstrator for future technology, but also pushing our existing platforms to their limits in our own controlled environment, so that we can improve all these products. So
yeah, what I think is cool about this is literally a Lightning extended range XLT.
Yeah.
No, you didn't up the battery pack bolting or anything like that.
Nope.
No extra cooling. In fact, this one doesn't even have the secondary compressor, which is crazy.
And the primary drive, secondary drive units, bone stock, no changes to it.
Yep.
Well, I mean, again, interior too, we put in these race seats because it's a very, very violent ride.
Yes.
And so you need 5-point harness. But other than that, and the drift brake, of course, which helps turn a large full-size pickup truck going very fast off-road and tight trails, you need a drift brake. But other than that, you can see, I was using the Kempower on board, so the screen is showing us that.
It's like you didn't strip anything out of this. This is full series production.
There is nothing stripped out of this.
Yeah.
It's just the seat change. And
show us the suspension. What did you do here? Because obviously you got some wide body stuff going on.
Yes, so this again, so we do a lot of racing series, right? Different racing series. And there's always tires are where everything hits the ground, right? And we always start with tires. What is the grip level of a car? Where do you want to go with it? That's where aerodynamics and everything comes into play. So same case here, we started with the tires, and okay, what do you need for high-speed Baja style off-roading? And based on our experience with 4400 and everything else, working with RTR, we're like, all right, Nitto grapplers, this is what we need. Everything else stems from that choice, right?
Cool.
So your suspension gets beefed up in order to handle the loads that this is going to throw at you. So control arms are new. Then we got Fox 3-inch internal bypass dampers, again, to give you 13 inches of travel. Now these things also widen the track width by about 12 inches.
Holy shit, 12 inches.
12
Damn.
inches, yeah. I mean,
awesome.
You want the right grip level, this is what happens. So then your bodywork has to get wider. And so our design studio gets involved and helps us sculpt just a new fender, front and rear.
And it looks good. Like, you didn't really need to do anything more. I hope someone will make this so we can do this with our normal Lightnings.
Right?
It looks so
awesome.
good.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
But that's when you get the creatives in the studio involved, and you get this.
Right.
So that's what we got going on. And of course, same thing with the rear. We got new arms, new suspension, new shocks and dampers.
Can you pop the trunk? Can we show all the spare parts that you got going on here?
Investors are
over in a sec. So.
Okay,
they're
we'll
coming
finish
out.
up in a second.
All
Then.
right, we can come back.
Yeah, we'll come back in a bit. All right.
I mean, what I do love is how creative you are being with this and throwing it out in the field. And if you learn something from it, you are helping to enact it in the next.
Yeah, we already are learning a ton of stuff, and I mean, I've got meetings tomorrow morning with the production team on some stuff we found with the PDU that we want to push more, and it's just going to be incrementally building stuff as you need to, not just putting hardware on for the sake of it. It's just what breaks, how can we enhance it? So stay tuned, right? We're going to, as we test, we're going to do more stuff to it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Sriram. Thank you
Awesome.
so much for
Thanks.
everything. We'll see you throughout the event. And I just love how they brought it here completely dirty from King of the Hammers, which is awesome.
Yeah, we're looking at this switchgear. It's the only one that's been taken around to a lot of different off-roading Baja style. Like I said, it's going to Australia, and I did mean it. Yeah, I love how creative they're being. I asked him yesterday, like, what's the most surprising thing that has happened that you've had to fix? Because that's what their approach seems to be, is like, take it out, rough
Break
it up,
it, yeah.
see what breaks, see how to reinforce it later. And, you know, rocks, because the tires are so sticky, they're throwing rocks harder at the underside. So, like, being aware of that and what it might hit and all that stuff. So, I don't know, pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, yeah, love that. We have a full video on out of spec reviews with Patrick in the switchgear. I don't think going into that much detail, I don't think they wanted to talk about it much. I also believe Ford has more to come on that vehicle.
Yes.
More stories they haven't shared yet.
They're learning a lot.
So we got the Bronco experience where they're doing sway bar disconnects under load.
Bronco, which we always say, it would be so fun to electrify this.
I don't know what's going on over here.
Well, he's getting
Yeah.
an up close
This is
view.
real automotive journalism. You don't see us doing that.
No, we're just
you,
walking around.
you have trouble getting your mic back
I
on there?
am audience. I'm just working to get my microphone onto the collar of my sweater, and I did it before, so I will do it again. Thank you for your patience. All right,
Okay,
Kyle.
great. Onwards. This is some we can get a photo taken. Here we go. I believe this was also out at King of the Hammers. It's awesome. Properly used.
Every man challenge.
Yep.
Sure.
4,500 right there. And then, of course, you have the Dark Horse, which is not electric and shouldn't be electric. I'm a big fan of enthusiast sports cars, specialty applications, embracing combustion and making you can do some crazy stuff with combustion. What I don't like is like a 4-cylinder Camry driving you to the grocery store with like a lackluster engine. Like that should just be electric. Basic transportation,
Yeah.
road tripping, all that stuff.
Is there one car that you've seen, Kyle, just in general, that they made electric that you were like, why? Why did you touch it?
Well, I think the 718 Boxster from Porsche is the first one that I'm like, oh, I think I might want the combustion one.
Okay.
That's the first time I'm seeing that. Okay.
Look at here. We're over at Toyota now. Walking
Right.
over, they've got some blue flowers.
This
a
is
lot
the
of
new
blue here.
Crown SUV, by the way, not electric.
Not electric.
No, but would be good if it was electric.
But speaking of electric, we're walking over. We have a dummy EVgo charger, which means that it doesn't work.
Which means that you get the full experience right here at the auto show,
Oh,
which is you roll up to a dead charger.
I don't know. Oh, look, they've got an axe connector here.
Yeah, pull it out hard. That's the same display they probably had at the LA Auto Show.
Yeah, we know that they're still figuring out how they're going to do that, but
Yeah, we don't
That-
know whose cable that is. It
It's
looks like the
huge.
forget the name.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, on the VinFast road trip that you can now watch on the Out of Spec Motoring channel, we'll have a podcast on that as well with Jordan and I. You know, Jordan was charging at superchargers the whole time, and I was using the CCS cables. Not once did I plug in the Tesla until the last charge, and I was like, wow. It's like your arm will fly up. It's so light.
Yeah, but these will be just as heavy as CCS.
No, yes, that's what I'm noting here, is that it's not going to be the Tesla experience.
Nope, it's going to be just as annoying as CCS because the cables aren't changing. It's just the plug interface.
Yes, exactly. So let's stay electric, Kyle. Toyota. Also, maybe we have a second to talk about Toyota's approach to electrification. What do you think?
It's something we should probably talk about more, which is to make the worst EVs on the market, such as this thing right here, and to basically push hybrid and combustion. Mm-hmm. By the way, their hybrid stuff, the new Prius
And
Prime,
hydrogen.
is awesome.
Yes. Tell me why you think it's so awesome.
Well, they're just extremely efficient. They drive well. I think they look great. They really made this an awesome car. And then the battery electric ones just suck. So I don't really know what Toyota's doing and other than trying to make battery electric vehicles look terrible.
Well, I did. I was sitting in the VW ID Buzz, which we'll see later. Oh my gosh, y'all just can't wait like me, I'm sure. But this man we were chatting about, Toyota, happened to come up, and he said, you know, I like Toyota's approach. They're not going electric until they know it works.
So that's the thing. I think Toyota might be right.
Interesting.
Or at least on a mass market scale. Because electric, everyone's doing the same thing. They're all going electric, blah, 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 blah. Toyota can put small batteries in a hybrid in a bunch of their cars and probably reduce the carbon emission fleet-wide more than just a few cars being sold that are battery electric.
Interesting.
Now, from a personal viewpoint, I much prefer battery electric vehicles. I love the technology. I love driving them. I think we're starting to see sort of this brain shift from a lot of the people, just general buyers that are like, maybe we went too fast into the EV thing.
Oh, yeah.
Let's back up. Let's get everything sorted. Let's check it out. And then we'll go into EV. So I think we're one generation of car buyer behind.
Sure, I can see that. I think it's also, why come out with an EV at all if it's going to be, if you're not sold as a company wide, even though there are portions of the company that do seem to be battery forward and other parts of the company that aren't, but why come out with an EV that's so not fantastic?
Yeah, BZ4X is lame. Let's move on. None of this is interesting.
I thought it was interesting.
You thought it was interesting?
Yeah, I just think it's interesting to look at the strategies with which automakers at large are moving towards electrification, because I do think that there were rushes to the market that resulted in poor products.
Yeah, absolutely. But then you have like the enthusiast
resources from the world and putting all this, could have been avoided.
Okay, but we have Toyota they have niche markets within themselves. So like this is the enthusiast sports car corner, right? You have GR Corolla, GR86, and Supra, all of which can be manual transmission, really fun, extremely great chassis, really enjoyable cars. This does not represent the average Toyota vehicle, which is like RAV4 and Sienna and Prius, but they can do this really well. They should also, I think, have an EV division that can also do that really well. And there's no equivalent to no enthusiasts. We need electric enthusiasts at Toyota, basically.
I agree.
Speaking of, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say, that should be electric, the new Santa Fe.
Of course.
It looks
like it
awesome.
Is electric.
But it's not electric.
No, it's not. Certainly not.
There will be a plug-in hybrid, I think, but that's lame. I just think the styling is freaking great. Their style team's awesome. None of the vehicles look the same. So I think that's a great thing. Each one has their own character, their own design. But we really shouldn't spend time on this because launching a brand new car in 2024 that's not battery electric makes no sense to me, or at least having a battery electric option. Because I believe EGMP can go this big. Ioniq 7 is coming, which will be like an EV6 competitor. Damn, this just looks so interesting, so cool. Yes. And in person, I love it so much more than what I saw online. Online, these taillights look so awkwardly low, but in person, they're great.
Yeah, Francie for size reference.
Here's the new Kona Electric.
Yes, the new Kona Electric. We met a friend who's driving a Kona, right? He drove it from Iowa, and decent experience?
Yeah, he said he had to stop and charge once, no issues, 77 kilowatt peak charging rate, something like that.
Great.
I think it doesn't look as good as, I think there's been two refreshes on Kona, right? There was the original Kona EV, then there was the mid-cycle refresh, which only lasted like a year or two, and then there's this one. I think the middle one's the one to have.
As shown, this is $42,000.
How much is a base Model Y?
Around there.
Can we check? Do you have your phone? Can you check the Tesla website?
Of course. So
everyone's going to complain that we compare it to Tesla, but that is the benchmark.
Tesla Model.
This is front-wheel drive, 70 kilowatt charging, has great driver assistance, but it's relatively small.
Yes, MSRP from 43.
43,000. Is that after the incentives or before?
Let's double check.
Let's take a look here.
Okay.
Model Y, order now. Yeah. So 44 grand, which, well, this one starts at 32. Okay.
And this is, as shown, 42, so
this is the same price as a base Model Y.
Yes.
That probably, you get a lot more stuff in this one.
Yes.
Good driver assistance. New interior, though. I haven't really seen it yet. Looking pretty nice. Interesting steering wheel. Yeah, sitting there.
All right.
I'll jump in the back seat.
I'm
New
headed
Kona
to
test.
sit into the
back seat's always been
Kona.
the problem on this car.
The back
But
seat?
yeah, it feels bigger. I don't know if it actually is bigger. I think it might be. I actually fit back here.
It does feel nice and roomy up here. This is not upsetting, I'll say.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
I think
Battery
this is-
discharge warning.
Where's that?
It just popped up. It's because they're not charging the 12 volt from the high voltage battery at the
I
moment.
see. Well, how would we know? From
Yeah, I
here?
think it lights up
Great.
just like all the other ones.
I think this is a great option if you're ready to go EV. I think this would be friendly to a newcomer.
Yeah, I think the only main problem is by the way, these are really efficient.
Do you know, range and battery
Oh,
size?
if
and
you drive around town, you might get like mid 300 miles, like 350, 380.
Wow, that's amazing.
They're very, very efficient around town.
Felt good.
Yeah, no, it's a cool car. I've always loved the Kona. You know, Out of Spec started in large part thanks to the Kona.
Tell me more.
It was the first EV road trip we ever filmed.
Oh, how fun.
I think for the channel specifically. I did a lot of Tesla stuff before. Maybe the first non-Tesla EV road trip.
I'd love to know if anyone has or is considering a Kona.
This is a whole nother level though. Ioniq 5.
Yes, the
Way
Ioniq
faster
5.
charging, eGMP. It's the best electric vehicle of cars.com for 2024.
Do you agree with that assessment?
No. I don't know how you can rate the best electric vehicle of 2024 when the vehicle can't even do proper route planning.
See, interesting what
Yep.
the metrics might be.
Yeah, don't know. I mean, I think as a package, like platform is amazing, charging speed's amazing.
Love this color.
Love the drivetrain, love the chassis. Everything's great except the software.
Price as shown, $58,000.
Holy smokes. So they start at 41.8 and they go all the way up to 53, but then this one's somehow 58.
Maybe it's, so how much are you adding on? Windshield wipers?
Okay, that's quite expensive, but I am looking forward to the Ioniq 5N coming soon.
Okay, and then we have the Ioniq 6 here.
Growing on me so much.
Okay, tell me, why has your opinion changed from before?
I've always liked the interesting cars because they go out on a limb, they're kind of quirky. This is just a cool vehicle. If you see someone rolling up in an Ioniq 6, you know 100% they're an Android user, and they're probably pretty fun to hang out with because they're not going the traditional approach.
Yes.
Now, I could never be friends with an Android user, but at least we know what we're getting into when they roll up to wherever we're meeting.
I'd be friends with an Android user.
There you go. That makes one of us. Yeah, but no, it looks great. I love the orange running lights on this thing. It's got the the flaps up front to let the air in. It's just a really cool technical car. It's quite efficient, great charging. It's a great road tripper.
I like the distinction between the Ioniq 5 and the Ioniq 6. I think there's the approach here at Hyundai and Kia as well, which we aren't talking about, but it's been a really cool approach in the EV space, and I'm excited to see what they keep doing.
Yeah, we will talk about Kia.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just aren't.
It made it sound like we're not allowed to talk about Kia.
I don't know. I didn't take it that way.
Okay.
Where should we go next?
Yeah, let's go to Chevrolet, which is a company that if you wanted to buy an electric car, cannot sell you one.
No.
That's crazy.
So of course they stopped production on the Bolt, which was one of the most affordable EVs on the market. Yes.
But this is the new Equinox EV.
Yes.
It says it launches this year, and it's something we haven't made a film on yet.
No, because
I'm not convinced GM can sell anyone one if they wanted to.
we'll wait to see what happens. I mean, the stop sale, we were speaking to someone here, optimistic that soon the software problems will be fixed, but that they're not perhaps only with the
Blazer.
Yes.
Yeah, so my understanding is the cars coming out of the Mexico factory now are fixed and can be sold, but the ones that have already been delivered need to go through something, and there's no fix yet.
And also the issue with no over-the-air updates.
Yeah, your mic is covered. There we go.
What about now?
Yeah, much better.
Hopefully you could hear me that whole time.
Hopefully.
Over-the-air updates and how actually these will require taking the EV into service.
What is it, 1994? Crazy.
It is
I don't know.
crazy.
But they're looking good. I mean, their design's great. I love the Silverado EV as an example. Like, I like the products. I want to like the products. But man, they have really just messed up this entire electric transition beyond anything.
So what happens? How can you wipe the slate clean?
Maybe they just should go out of business. I don't know.
That would be quite the monumental historic.
Yeah. Here's the Blazer EV. And then there's another one over here we can show everyone. So it won Motor Trend SUV of the year.
Why?
I have no idea.
So this is interesting because, of course, we're aware of the stop sale, but I wonder how many of the public, how much of the public, when they come through, will be aware. Because look here, it's here on the floor.
Right, they're not saying,
right?
sorry, we can't sell you this car.
No. In fact,
They should.
They're showing you it
You're right.
as if it is so approachable and obtainable.
Right, but the inside, yeah, I mean, I just spent time driving the Honda Prologue, which I don't think I can talk about yet, but I can say I've at least driven this sister vehicle, and I think I can say without breaking any embargoes, that one did not break down on me. But I really only drove it for a few hours.
Zip the lips there.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, car looks okay, pretty poor charging, 155 kilowatt peak rate on this one.
Okay.
I want to say it's 85 kilowatt hour usable and 92 gross, something like that.
This is similar to the VinFast then? Those
Charging
numbers.
port disabled. They must have saw us making fun of it at the LA Auto Show, going really slow, because that one's also disabled from opening.
Uh-oh.
Yikes. And actually, I think the vehicle has no power to it.
I think, yeah, that might be the case.
Yeah, I think that's the case, because also the Silverado has no power to it. Anyway, Blazer, GM, and electrification, this is all a disaster. There's no way around it. I mean, it's just such a
People
bad look.
have been quite disappointed with this transition.
I still believe GM can get into the place of being a leader in the EV space, but it's just been a rough year, really rough year or two. Yep.
It can be frustrating to see so much great potential.
And speaking of great potential, look at this bad boy here.
Yeah, what do you think about this first ever
200,
all-electric Silverado?
240 kilowatt hour battery pack.
Holy cow.
That's what I want right there. 214 usable. It's got a foldable mid-gate, which is sick. Super Cruise, 24-inch wheels on this one. I'd probably want more of an off-road wheel and
This would
tire.
be perfect for my vet cousin.
You got a cousin who drives a vet?
She is a vet.
Oh, veteran. I thought you
No,
meant what?
veterinarian.
Oh, vet.
Okay, maybe I could have been clearer.
Yeah.
I have a cousin who
That was the third one that
she's
on the
an
list.
emergency horse vet, so she's always taking trucks around to wherever the hooved animal is. And I think, it would be important to have range, but also, like, if you're having to get out into the middle of nowhere, if we're thinking about people who could go electric with work trucks, but are making quite the drive.
Yeah, well, this is going to have all the range in the world, 377 kilowatt peak charging. But again, you can't buy them at the moment. Only the work trucks entered series production, which I just had from Hertz last week. And that was a really cool experience. They had the 3WT, which is the 20 module battery instead of the 24.
Right. When you were in Los Angeles,
Yeah, well, San Francisco, but
of course,
that side of the country, the left side.
up north.
Yep. And they're just cool trucks. I mean, like I said, I think I'm going to get this one, which is the RST. I'd probably go for a blacked out one too, because I think it looks better when you can't see the lines of the vehicle. It's not a particularly pretty looking truck.
So Kyle, would you say that you're kind of done towing with the Rivian?
Yeah, I really want to be. It's such a pain in the ass. The thing's always overheating when charging. It's got no range while towing, which it all depends on the aero profile of what you're towing, but this would be a huge step change in towing. First of all, we'd have the NACS adapter, which is great, or maybe even by the time I get one, it'll have the native port.
But they haven't made any announcements about when that is happening.
I think it's going to happen right after Ford. GM is going to be pretty quick, but they're also not the most competent company in electric. I hate to be so hard on them, but they really just have to get their shit together.
We'd love for them to get it together.
Yeah, exactly. I've really honestly tried to be, understanding of their software issues and all these things, and I've just gotten to the point where I'm frustrated. It's taken me a year.
Yes.
I was a lot less frustrated than other journalists.
Pretty
Not
good.
that I consider myself a journalist, but you have, power right there. It's awesome.
I mean, if they really go for it, this could be a great competitor to the work truck like that Ford is putting out.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's going to be Lightning versus this, and then Cybertruck versus Rivian.
Yes, lifestyle trucks versus work trucks.
Absolutely.
Switch the order for the respective category. I just got distracted by the snow over there. We can see the pole-to-pole Nissan Ariya that is all tricked out, and we're hoping to have the pole-to-pole crew. It is a couple that went all over. I mean, they went pole to pole in the Nissan Ariya.
Yeah, North Pole to South Pole.
Yes.
In the Ariya.
Yes.
We followed their journey. They're friends of ours. They're awesome. And I think it sucked.
The adventure?
I'm sure the adventure was fun, but I'm sure the charging performance and dealing with charging in different markets, and they had to swap the charge ports. Technically, that's a Euro spec vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to get into it on the Out of Spec podcast in the future.
Yeah, they'll come on the show, I think, is the plan.
Yes, yeah, we've been in chit-chats.
By the way, I've driven this exact bus. There's a video on my personal channel of me in Florida driving this and reviewing it. It's like 150 grand, Francie.
This is walking up to me and telling me that you've lived out my dream.
Yeah, this is a perfect one. It has been repainted, but it's pretty much perfect.
Absolutely gorgeous. We are looking at what, Kyle, if people are tuning in their ears and they're not on YouTube?
I think it's a 19, I forget the exact year.
21 window bus.
Okay, so it's a 67. Yeah, but it's got
VW
all the
bus.
windows, and it's got the Samba roof, which is great.
Yes, it's a beautiful orange. It is absolutely classic and harkens back to a time when I was not in existence, but wish I were. Look at that beautiful VW logo on the front, and but I am alive in this day and age, which means there's another option for me.
Yep.
And that is the VW ID Buzz that I have mentioned before might be my dream car. It is 100%. Of course, we're looking at a blue one here on the floor, the ID Buzz, and what's so appealing about this to me, I don't even know. It just is in my heart, but it's cute. It's a lifestyle for sure. I would travel around, take the podcast on the road, do a little bit of van lifing, Starlink, but of course when it comes to efficiency, tell me about it, Kyle.
Yeah, well, I've driven these in Europe and in the US. I've driven, I think, the orange one that's been going around, or maybe it was yellow. I can't remember, but I've driven a few of them. And I would say efficiency is not going to be great. Charging curve is great. No big peak speeds though, but it's still like 45 minutes 0 to full. It's actually pretty good with their new stuff. So
gorgeous.
We haven't tested the big battery on Volkswagens yet. ID7 and this will both get, I think it's 92 kilowatt hour gross, 91 gross, 87 usable. I haven't tested that one yet. Should be slightly higher voltage than the 77 kilowatt hour usable pack. But it doesn't matter in this.
No, it's not about the efficiency. Well, it shouldn't be abysmal, of course.
If you drive slow enough, you'll be fine.
And you drive slow, and I think you're not rushing in this car. You're living out the experience of life. It's all about the journey in this EV.
So is this a minivan in your eyes where you drive your kids to school, or is this a camper?
Oh no, I don't envision kids. in my dream here with this, I envision Rafiki.
I'm not saying for you specifically, I'm saying for the market. I think a lot of people are going to buy this as a kid hauler.
Oh yeah, I think it would be great if you have a family. I mean, I think that would be great. And you can take them a long way comfortably. I think it has a lot of features that will be great. It has USB-C ports everywhere. Like I said, it's comfortable, it's roomy. I think you could definitely haul the family, but also camper. But I think typically some people go really expensive with the camper lifestyle, but it might just be car camping in your.
And we've done a full tour of this video or of this vehicle on Out of Spec Reviews 6 months ago or something like that.
6 months ago.
For the long wheelbase one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So what will come to the US compared to what is in Europe?
So we get extended wheelbase, bigger battery. The side window is a quick way to spot long wheelbase to standard wheelbase. This little cutout in the door here. All-wheel drive available in our market, which is great.
So
about
you could
time.
Take this out off-roading.
Nah,
sure.
I don't think so. There's not much clearance on this thing. You can hit a beach.
Okay.
Can we go this way?
Oh, of course.
Because I want to show everyone what Nissan has brought at the Chicago Auto Show. And what is your impression of Nissan's electrification? They were pretty much first to market with the Leaf. What has happened since then? What's your impression of the company?
Well, they allowed for a lot of early adoption into the EV world to happen with the Nissan Leaf. A lot of people still really love it for getting around town. I'm not so sure about how the degradation has gone for most folks, but of course, the Nissan Ariya is right here. And not the most impressive EV either in terms of efficiency, charging, battery size.
It's got a good curve.
Okay.
It's got pretty good drivetrain on the E-Force, actually. Okay. Torque vectoring, some cool stuff.
Great.
Yeah.
So would you have taken this pole to pole?
No.
What would you have taken?
Rivian.
Okay.
Yeah, or Silverado EV if I could get that big ass battery.
Okay.
But actually, efficiency starts to matter with that stuff because you're always limited by charging speeds in remote areas, and that's where like, okay, maybe Silverado wouldn't have been that efficient. But you know, Nissan of course sponsored that project, and
Yeah.
they had other ways of charging it and lots of interesting things. So that was cool. I mean, that car has been through a lot.
Yes. But you know, we're at another auto show, and Nissan had, you know, done the cool early adopter option, but since then, the Aria is it.
So Nissan is one of the only companies to offer J1772, CCS,
And
CHAdeMO, and NACS now.
They've got diversity out the wazoo in terms of charging standards. But one day, the Leaf perhaps will no longer have CHAdeMO.
I think Nissan did their customers a huge disservice by not offering a CHAdeMO to CCS adapter.
Like a million years ago?
Yeah, it's just coming to the market now. Of no help with Nissan. I have an experimental one coming in right now.
It's interesting to me because the infrastructure that instead was maintained and continued to be built to support CHAdeMO, that investment versus the investment into an adapter
Right.
technology.
Should have just made an adapter, which it exists. So they're on the market, and we'll have one of the first ones in America within just a few days.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So we got also ID4s over here.
Made in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
These are not the 24 model year updated ones, although I've already driven it. We've made a video on the updated ID4 on this channel, but in Europe, I'll be driving a US spec one very soon. By the way, Silverado EV work truck over there, and I think that's not from GM. That is from a ComEd, so the local utility. So they have been delivered. That is a delivered truck. And Hertz has them. So Silverado EV is on sale, except I heard from the GM booth today that the stop sale also applies to the Silverado EV. So maybe they're not actually on sale. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I mean, they could have had a branded truck made, not necessarily usable.
What is all this going on over here, Francie?
So we have some driving potential here. The all-electric drive circles. People really sending it 0 to 30 over here.
Oh boy, hold on
And
tight.
you can take out a Model 3 refresh. What else do they have on the line? I see this.
Aria, ID4, Mach-E, Silverado EV, Lucid Airs.
So are we wrong
Lyrics?
about the stop sale then? If the Silverado EV is here being driven around?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, we need to confirm if Silverado EV has stop sale. My friend Nebula online.
At
I don't actually know his name, but he's Nebula, and he knows everything GM. I can ask him.
Nebula. That's great. That's great. We could do that.
Mach-E extended range all-wheel drive. By the way, I reached out to Ford. We had dinner with some of the guys last night, and I'm like, you know, no one even told me they were putting in LFP in the Mach-E. I had to find out like on the forums, and I still haven't driven it. So what's up with that? So they're going to send one to Colorado.
I feel like, of course, we're interested in those details of what is the battery technology in these EVs, but a lot of the time it's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, no one shares anything.
Yes.
Although I was just doing all that Taycan stuff.
Yes.
And they have to, obviously, we were working with the global communications team for that. So they deal with China, they deal with every other market. They said the Chinese reviewers, they are so knowledgeable on battery chemistry.
Oh, makes sense.
By the way,
Chinese
Lyric
ahead
to
of
your
you.
left,
We've got the Lyric here, of course. And
Escalade IQ,
Then, yes, the Escalade IQ.
the
which
Escalade
is
IC.
the IC Celestic Lyric.
No Celestic here.
No Celestic here, but the Cadillac IQ, Escalade IQ is not also available until when, Kyle? It's not in production.
Yeah,
yet.
I think basically 6 months from now, this thing might enter production. It's 240 kilowatt hour gross battery pack, 213, 214 usable, dual motor, 700 and something horsepower, I think. It's got a massive ass screen, big boy sound system. This is what we needed, a full size electric SUV. This one is $175,000.
My eyes widened. That is a lot. Do you think it's worth it?
No,
No, I don't think
I
so
think they'll
either.
be $100,000 in a short period of time. I think whatever we saw happen with the Hummer EV First Edition, Edition 1, similar we're going to see here with depreciation.
Oh dear.
Especially as it's launching at a time, like we mentioned, when infrastructure is still weak for EVs. There's still some wariness around them. So I don't know. I like it a lot. My preference would have been if they made the regular Escalade just electric, but
Plenty
I
of
think they
room.
did one hell of a cool job here. 10 degrees of rear steer, again, big boy charging speeds, fully air suspension, and yeah, definitely looks the part.
It does. Really
Okay,
does.
but we're not even going to spend too much time on it because we can't even sit in it. So it's not
Yes.
worth reviewing until we
Can't
can.
touch it.
Yeah,
Can't sit in it.
another Volta charger over here.
Another Volta charger. Do you see fast?
All right, run us through this line, Francie.
All right, what do we got here? This is just an itsy bitsy BMW here. All right, so they don't even have a big booth.
Who?
BMW.
Nope.
So why do you think they went so small here?
It's Chicago. It's not worth spending the money from an automaker's perspective.
I see.
So i4 M50.
Yes, i4
Great
50.
car.
I don't think I've been able to drive this one, have I?
We took an i4 M50 around the track in South Carolina.
Okay,
Remember
yeah,
that? And
I
we
do,
didn't
actually,
really
I
like
do.
it. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely rides different around the track.
Yeah, it's not a
Heavier.
ground up EV platform, and
Yeah.
it did not drive well on track at all.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah.
BMW Test Fest.
Yeah.
We have the Lucid team here and
Yeah.
a lovely, what is this, Stealth?
Yeah, this is the Stealth package, blacked out. This is the touring model, so it has the cutout for your rear legroom in the back. Huge efficiency, of course, in the pure trim, rear-wheel drive. We're talking, high 4 miles per kilowatt hour, something like that. It's pretty impressive. We're Lucid fans. We
Yes.
don't need to share too much about it. What I'd like to see them work on is some fatter charging curves to keep up with the Taycan game. So, because if you can match this capacity, which is a bigger battery than Taycan, 112 kilowatt hours in the Grand Touring, if they could get, they already have the peak charging of 351 kilowatts we've seen. If they could just hold it,
Yes.
this would be the end-all be-all road tripper.
Yes, and they were just speaking to...
And they need some thermal management improvements on the battery.
Okay, so with all of that, I know that we were speaking to them and they were speaking about how they're working on over-the-air updates and software improvements. I mean, some are you're able to make over the air.
All of these are
all of these.
completely. Yeah, so that's what the new guys get so right. Tesla, Lucid, Rivian, every module's connected, everything's over the air. And Lucid software has been great. Even when we had our car, they would get updates all the time. You just, as an owner, I feel like, damn, someone cares about my product and they're supporting it.
Immediately, and I don't have to take it into any...
Yeah, you don't have to pull a GM and bring it to the dealership like it's, again, the 90s.
Some Wi-Fi.
Okay, here we go.
The Model 3 refresh, which I sat in for the first time, and I like it.
That's it? You just like it?
I mean, it's Tesla. I don't know,
Is that good or bad? Because it sounds bad.
No, it's not bad. It's good.
Is
I
it?
think it's good. I think
It doesn't have to be good. I'm just trying to gauge what you mean by what you're saying.
I'm putting my thoughts together here. So I think there seem to be quality improvements just in how it feels, actually, the materials and the door. But, is that the least interesting part of this EV? Probably, but I still think they made a really accessible, no-brainer EV if you're not anti-Tesla. What do you think?
I call it the best car in the world for the price. I think it still stands.
Yeah, sitting in it, I was, just thinking about my VinFast Spec at home.
Yeah, sure. But, Colton, Max, and Ryan all did a video, and they were all not so impressed with the car. But I think what they were missing was that, the price didn't go up.
Yes.
And you've got major improvements.
Yes.
And yeah, the back seat's a little bit less roomy, but I still fit back there. And that would be the only downside, I think. Otherwise, you get better styling, better efficiency, better screen,
It's
faster
really
response.
the weighted,
Yeah.
what really matters. And I think that you do put a weight to the different things. Sure, you might have lost some space here and there, and things might not be exactly as perfect as they were, but
Yeah, heard it's got a better sound system. We did listen to it on our test ride before, but it didn't sound, I don't know.
I know, I wasn't totally blown away.
Yeah, exactly. So
Whereas
we just need to dial it in a little bit more.
Yes, we probably need to.
Cybertruck, though.
Cybertruck has a great sound system, which you can see over my right shoulder here.
Yeah, this is drawing all the attention.
Yes, of course.
And I was talking to the Tesla guys, too, because they actually watched some of our videos, which was nice. And I was like, so auto journalists in general hate Tesla. I don't know why. They hate Elon, they hate Tesla. This is just the general average.
Also, Kyle uses the word hate.
Maybe I should use a stronger word.
Well, also just avoid. And I think that's interesting because this also is some weird discrepancy where, even if you're an auto journalist and you're not covering EV, why not get in an EV? Why not try
if you're
EVs
a
out,
paid
even if you're
automotive
not?
expert, these cars are some of the most popular vehicles on the road.
Yeah, look
you
at their
need to know what they're
their
doing.
sales numbers. Hundreds of thousands sold in the U.S. in 2023. I mean, it's bazonkers.
Absolutely.
And you see them everywhere. So you might as well get in it, especially if you're an executive at any sort of EV company.
So, online you get all the articles, Cybertruck sucks, all these things, blah, 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 blah. Talking to the Tesla guys, they said they haven't heard anything majorly negative. They said, yeah, we've seen people nitpicking stuff, but
I'd like
they
to see
said
this trend.
in general, when people see it in person, they're like, oh, kind of cool. And I've seen journalists that I know hate Tesla walk up to this today, and even F-150 Lightning owners that have been, technical term, shitting all over this car or this truck, and they're like, oh, it's actually kind of cool.
I think it's so much easier to be negative online than it is in person when you're either with other people or actually looking at the thing about which you're thinking or trying to review and get a real appreciation for the truth of it. It might not be that negative. You might not like things, right?
Yeah,
picky,
I think
but
we can say it needs twice the battery, twice the charging. No question.
a bunch of
But it also has really cool steering and a great sound system, and it looks wild, and it can tow, and how it does all these things. Well, that's what we're here to test. But it's just
makes you that mad.
Yeah, it's awesome to see a lot of, I would say, more enthusiasm than I was expecting for the Cybertruck. And I think it's cool that they brought it to an auto show.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not
a little corner here.
I'm not an auto show guy. In fact, I kind of hate them. But yeah, cool that Tesla's at least here to show it off, and they're letting people sit in it, which they hadn't been up until recently for some weird reason.
Well, if you're interested, Kyle and the team, including me, had a Cybertruck down in Austin. So Kyle did the range test. We charged it a bunch. Also did like a full tour of it. So if you haven't been able to sit in it and you want to, go check it out.
So now this is where Chicago claims that the auto show is the largest auto show in the nation. How is that possible?
I don't know what they're measuring.
Yeah, the largest what? Maybe largest number of hot dogs?
The building in which they host it is the largest of the buildings in which it is hosted.
There's no way. I can see.
I mean the building.
Oh, but I can see all the walls from here.
Yeah, I'm just saying it doesn't add up.
Yeah, I think that's a lie.
What do y'all call hot dogs? Glizzies or hot dogs? We were talking about that earlier because there were some glizzies here.
Hot dogs.
But there are a lot of, so we've got the state police here, of course, and some vendors.
Yeah, what the heck? Wait, we got to go over here. What is this, Francie?
Well. We've got longhorns. A lot
Lazy
of
bull skulls.
Skulls.
What does this have to do with cars? Is this what you're supposed to mount on the front of a Tesla Cybertruck?
Well, maybe if you care about, I don't know, actually.
Okay.
These are.
It's awesome.
Hello.
Wonder how fast these things would go 0 to 60.
Longhorns?
Yeah.
I think it would take like 15 seconds.
Okay.
60 is very fast.
Yeah, I don't think they go 60. I was surprised you even entertained that idea.
Well, horses go really fast.
Yeah. They got the Cook County Sheriff Department here.
That's great.
Which, we are in Chicago. Shouldn't they be out patrolling the streets here?
No comment.
She goes, no comment.
What else do we have?
Just shows you what happens when you don't take care of your city, I think. Anyway, more complaints from Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle, you've never run a city as well.
Yeah, I've never run a city, but I can complain about it.
Yeah, you can definitely
This is sick.
About it.
On tracks, Ranger 1000. This should be electric. They do have an electric Ranger.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But this is the conservation police. This is what you care about.
Conservation police?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Yeah, they conserve things, and they are also police.
Conservation police officer. I don't know.
That's cool. That's awesome.
I mean, we don't know. We don't know what those words
Our friend
mean.
George over here, Moto Man, how's it going?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Okay.
Yep, we have the Marines are here.
We can do
That's a
pull-up
sick
contest.
truck.
Who would win between a pull-up contest, me or Kyle?
You.
I want true. You can't just sacrifice the votes like that.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Well, 1 vote for me, 2 votes for me, actually. What do y'all think?
you weigh a lot less than me. That's a lot easier to pull you up than me.
And I'm swole.
U.S. Army's here, sick H1, lots of other cool stuff.
Doing some recruiting at the auto show.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. You're getting the general public. It's a place to interact and explore, so not against it. We have Supercar Row here, some interesting things. We saw this last year. Don't see it really at every show, but it is cool, I guess, to get some of the local Chicago spicy cars out. We have a Raw Welt 993, which is sick. We have a 918 Spider. Oh, that's okay. Thank you so much. And yeah, just some cool stuff around for sure. We have
a boat, and Kyle and I were talking about boats earlier and how we would love to see more electric boating.
Yeah, so you don't put all your emissions into the water.
Right into the water, which we do know those dissolve into the water,
Yep.
which is a lot of the time our drinking resources. And there are sailboats are awesome.
We sound like EV nerds right now.
Well,
It's true though.
yeah, I think it's really interesting. I mean, for instance, your Horsetooth Reservoir, how many boats go in that? And that is all your drinking water. Just something to think about.
Okay.
Also, I'd love
New
to explore
Acadia.
sailboats and batteries too. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Acadia.
Oh, it's not electric.
I don't want to talk about it then.
This
All right, Hummer EV.
SUV. Hell yeah. Would you drive that?
Would I have driven
It's
it?
got 3 windshield wipers. I mean, would you drive it as your personal car? Because this is like Alyssa's dream car.
No, probably not.
Okay. Look at your view out the front. So small. It's sick.
is.
I've made a video on this. I loved it.
You could just totally take down the town.
That's right. It's just so sick. And then we have the Hummer EV Earth Cruiser. We've also done a video. You were there. That was your first day at Out of Spec when we filmed this. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Overland Expo West, Mountain West.
Yes.
And yeah, so we've been in here, we've done the whole thing. This is a factory optionable camper conversion for the Hummer EV. How sick is
Very
that?
cool. They gave us a tour. I mean, I think they thought about every part, and they've, of course, partnered with the manufacturer.
Yeah,
'Cause
Earth Cruiser, yep.
Yeah, Earth Cruiser. Very specific to the Hummer EV. Yeah.
You can even climb down through the roof up into the bed area.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's sick.
All right, over to Buick. No
No
EVs.
Sierra EV. I thought that was going to be here.
You thought it would reveal itself?
Yeah, but I'm not seeing it anywhere.
Wait, here's BMW.
Oh, BMW is here. Great. Let's see
Great.
what we have. We have M4 in a frozen berry looking color. We also have an Acura ZDX right in front of you. We should at least show this.
Sure. Here's the Acura ZDX.
So, Lyric or ZDX, what's your choice? Because they're the same thing underneath. ZDX
Look-wise.
is going to be the sportier one, and
I
yeah.
would say. I'm more of the ZDX off the bat. Yeah, I would
Okay.
say so. But price point?
Yeah, I don't know offhand. I think they're going to be very similar.
Really?
Yeah.
Because Cadillac being, $100,000.
No, Lyrics are 60 something $1,000 base.
Oh, we got base.
Yeah, and then they're like 70 or 80 max out. I don't think you can get a Lyric to 100. Maybe the V.
I'll try.
Yeah, we should play around on the configurator.
Sure.
Also, idea for future podcasts would be us speccing cars, recommending options. What do you think about that, Francie?
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Okay. The ZDX and ZDX Type S, which is what we're looking at here, are expected to be priced in the $60,000 and $70,000 range, respectively. All
Seems
right.
like a lot of car for the money. And it'll be built in the US, it'll get the tax credit.
Okay. But why
Whereas
would
the
you buy
Honda
this
Prologue's
if
built in
You
Mexico.
could buy the VW ID Buzz.
You could just say that about any car.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, let's head. Yeah, Honda is over here, so
Do they?
you want to do BMW or Honda?
What is this airplane doing over here as well? Is that a jet?
Let's go take a look.
Okay.
Airplane. We're already at an hour almost, just so you know, Francie. So
Goodness
let's start
gracious.
running.
We will.
Honda Jet. Ah, that's right, because Honda builds airplanes and lawnmowers.
Diversity.
Yes.
Might
So
as well.
awesome.
And one EV.
Okay, this is what we need right here. Out of spec jets.
Great. Is it electric?
No, but it's sick.
Can it fit this many suitcases?
Yeah, because this is such a big thing on private planes. Is, you
suitcases?
can sometimes find the right amount of seats, but not the right amount of storage. So then the inside of your jet starts to become a suitcase itself.
Interesting.
And then you got all this junk riding around in your, few $1 million jet. And by
yeah.
a few, I mean a lot more than a few.
Everyone's problem, right?
I mean, it's a real problem, yeah.
Don't you think private jets are the...
No, this is a hybrid race car of some kind.
Oh, okay.
Don't know much about it, but I'm glad they're testing some electric performance applications in this hybrid.
Wow, look at that.
You literally said, look at that, and then...
Yeah, well, the diff in the front.
Oh, sure, the
because
air management.
no frunk, yes.
Oh, Prologue's over here. Should we show everyone?
Yes, let's go look at the Prologue. Wow, look at that bright blue color. That's like
the
Liv's hair.
Same color, I think, same spec of the one that I drove in California.
Okay, great.
Yep.
And you can't speak to that, so we will
Yeah, I
speak to
forget
what
when the
is
embargo
true
lifts
here.
on driving, so I just won't say anything.
Okay,
But
well,
it
tell me
is...
about the specs.
Yeah, so it's basically a Blazer EV underneath. Again, 85 kilowatt hour usable dual motor, but the primary axle's on the front and the rear's just a helper motor. So it's like very, at least on the numbers, very front wheel drivey.
Okay.
And 155 kilowatt peak charging rate. But I asked the chief engineer how it charges and he went, yeah, not a good curve. Okay. So yeah, no high hopes for road trips on this one. Even Honda's like, it makes a great extra car in the garage. And I'm like, we're past that point with EVs.
We really are.
Yeah, like what are you doing?
Be sprinkled into your life.
Mazda is here because this is the Napleton Mazda group. So this is not Mazda themselves, but the local dealership.
Yes.
Mazda might be, as a Mazda fan, I've owned Miatas. We have Jordan on the team who's a Miata enthusiast. Could be the first major automaker to go out of business.
Okay, tell me more.
It's just a gut feeling at some point. I don't think they have the money to engineer the electric powertrains they need to compete in the future. The MX-30 was a total disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the enthusiast market captured, but we have to go to BMW. And I don't know. I think they're just gonna, as much as I hate to see it, because I kind of like their cars a lot.
Do you think you'll be alive to see that happen?
Oh yeah, but I think we were just in our friend Ed's Mazda 3 hatch. A nice car, but they have nothing electric and no budget to really do it.
Oh yeah, poor Ed.
Yeah, he also bent a wheel.
Yeah, with the potholes on I-40.
Okay, so we got some fun stuff at BMW. We have X5M competition, which can only be ordered in competition now, so they should just remove the competition.
Right.
And then you have the i5. This is a really cool spec because it's not an M60, it's just standard old man brown i5 eDrive 40, which I've been lucky enough to drive this and the M60 back to back. I prefer the rear drive car. I think this is great. And then you also have the new, this is a combustion one, but 7 Series, which they also have the i7 built on the same platform.
Yes.
Which you've had a chance to experience.
Yes.
What is your impression of BMW and electric? Because we've done a lot with BMW because they've done a lot of EV stuff. So we like to showcase that.
Yeah, they have done a lot of EV stuff. So I do like that they've taken a lot of a full-fledged approach to electric. Of course, they invited us out so we could drive them all around.
Well, would you say that though? Full-fledged? They also are doing hydrogen and hybrid.
I honestly don't know what full-fledged means. Does that mean full-fledged birds?
That means full send.
Full send?
Into electric.
They're half send.
Half send. I would agree.
Half-fledged.
Is half send enough?
Oh, that's such a good question. Can you even really go, who goes full-fledged? All
Tesla,
electric?
Rivian, Lucid.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think BMW would ever just totally drop their combustion.
And I think that might hold them back. It might help them as well, but
it might. Maybe they'll go more of like a 2/3.
That's kind of what they're doing, where they're building a platform that can support every powertrain type.
I do think that is a really interesting, and we saw the production line, they're really thinking of how to integrate this. I mean, Motorrad, they have some e-bikes too.
Yeah, so. CEO4, your dream.
Yeah, CEO2 maybe.
Oh, even the small one you'd go for.
I don't know, CEO4 would be good.
Yeah.
I think nice and chunky.
Okay, cool beans. New X2 on display, but we've shown this car in Europe already, so not much to see here.
M4, not much to see.
All right, now I think we got this area covered.
Okay.
Sorry to walk in front of the camera, but let's just do it quick. Francie went left, I went right, because we can't go right. What do we got to see? I think we've seen everything this way.
Oh, we've seen everything that way?
No, Kia's over here.
Oh.
And I don't mean Nokia, I mean Kia.
Oh, Nokia. That was my dad had that phone when I was younger. We played Snake on it. Had the best games ever. Games nowadays.
T-Mobile's here.
That was also my first phone brand.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a nostalgic corner of this episode we have achieved. Lexus is over here. Do you think they have an RZ450E?
Let's see.
Is that an acceptable name for a car, RZ450E?
No, it reminds me of how EVgo names all of their stations after names. So there's one named Kyle, one named Francie. Accessible. Throw all these numbers in there. No, I don't think you can get creative.
Here's the RZ450E. Good looking car, I think.
It is a good looking car.
Very bad charging car.
Right.
You get one charge a day and then it limits your performance.
One fast charge.
Yeah. And then you're down to like 70 kilowatts max.
Wow.
Because this one you can get all-wheel drive with the smaller but faster charging battery.
Starting
also,
at
I've heard for 2024 there have been some software updates to BZ4X and this car.
Good. Yes.
To make them charge better. Do we know what that is? We need to do a podcast on it.
I don't know if we do know what that is, but I assume it would go to the Solterra as well.
Yeah, let's hope so. I was talking to Fred, the Norwegian guy that I did the range test with, and he has been following that story closely. So maybe we can have him on to bring us up to speed on all of the
It'd be
updates.
so cool to see from one model year to the other, huge improvements.
They need it.
Yes.
They need it.
Yes.
The future is electric at the Toyota booth. Well, Lexus booth. Hold on, let's just capture the moment. Lexus, the future is electric. Lexus, the future is electric.
Just go with the flow.
Yeah, these things are rock, by the way. Only 32 amps, but they are freaking...
They are.
You could drop this thing off of a freaking building and it'd be fine. Yeah.
Nice.
New Lexus GX, by the way. Not an EV. Love it. What do you think of this?
Looks fun.
Your mom has a GX. So this is the new
Not
version
this
of her car. No, this hasn't gone on sale yet. It's just
Oh.
about to.
Yeah, prototype.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom hates that car.
Really?
Yeah. She hates how tall it is. She feels like it's going to flip over. Yeah. When I took it on a mini road trip, she was like, be careful.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Okay.
She really doesn't
Well,
like
I
it.
like this one a lot.
Yeah, this seems a bit more, I don't know, boxy.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
she needs
Full
something
off-road spec.
to tow a trailer,
Okay.
which when she was thinking about what might be possible electric, she wasn't convinced by anything.
Oh, sure. That kind of makes sense, actually. Rivian R1S, I could see her doing.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at the Kia booth now. I think we also have Subaru and to go to. So 2 brands left. Let's run through. Let's go see what they have
All right.
electric-wise.
So did we look at the Kia EV9 that was before we started this video, huh?
The EV9 does not look good when you pop the sunroof.
Oh, okay.
Look at that. That's awkward.
Well, it just looks like they got a little hair fluff.
Yeah.
So obviously you have a
This is the Land trim.
long loan on an EV9 up in Fort Collins. So
Yep,
you're
so-
going to be able to take it out, perhaps take it on a road trip, enjoy it.
Oh, this is so much nicer than even ours from a seating perspective.
Really?
But everything else looks the
Different.
same. It's got ambient lighting, which ours does not have.
So it's a
And-
different trim.
Yeah. So this is the Land trim, but we have the light long.
And then there's like wind.
Wind, land, sea, water. I don't know.
Earth, wind, and fire.
Yeah. So no, it's
So
this is like middle spec.
and this is a 3-row.
Yep.
And what are the other 3-row options that exist for EVs, Kyle?
Model X, EQS, this, R1S, and then those are like the big ones, and then there's the small ones like EQB, Mercedes, and Model Y. And I think that's all of them on the market. I think that's every 3-row SUV
And
that's
there's a
electric.
VWID Buzz when it comes.
When it comes, but there's a bunch coming, but that's what's out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because even the Hummer EV is only a 2-row, things like
And
that.
then there's not really any minivans that are fully electric, right? There's electrified,
Yeah, barely. You get like a plug-in Pacifica, but that's so lame.
right? So I'm interested to see what they'll do for the family car.
EV6 GT, awesome car.
Mm-hmm.
Fort Collins Kia will sell you one very cheap and ship it anywhere in the country.
Wow,
They have one that just, for some reason, no one wants to buy it, but it's just an EV6 GT. It's totally fine.
check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great.
So I think that covers it. We have our own EV9, so there's not much more to share here at the show. When Jordan and I came here last year, because the Chicago Auto Show is pretty lame, to be honest, this is all we did for like 2 days, was we raced around in the Telluride off-road experience. I think we did a whole video on it for our gaming channel that we were starting to maybe think about doing, which would have been great.
EV6.
How are you, sir? Great to see you. How's everything?
I'm glad I'm not a journalist.
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
It's going.
So those were our friends from Savage Geese and the great YouTube channel, of course.
Chicken.
But we're coming over to Subaru. This is
Coolest
sick, by the
EV
way.
out there.
We love Vermont sports car. They always build the craziest builds. And yeah, this
Do love
thing
it.
is crazy.
Yeah, Subaru's full of,
You're a Subaru owner.
Yeah,
Tell us what made you buy a Subaru.
oh, it's just obvious. I lived in Colorado. But no,
You live in Colorado, and do you like women?
I love women.
There you go.
So yeah, I wanted a car that had all-wheel drive. I think I had a front-wheel drive car before then in Colorado. So
Oh,
that
no.
was hard. I was slipping around a lot. It was a coupe. So I wanted the all-wheel drive, the clearance. I wanted room to camp in it. I wanted something that didn't need a lot of maintenance over time, and it was really a no-brainer. You're
And
smiling so
you
big.
got the 3.6R. You got
Yeah.
the fast one.
Yeah, I did. I got.
What was the decision to get the spicy engine?
Well, again, it was just like, if you could, why wouldn't you?
Nice.
Yeah, I
And
wanted
the
the
story
power.
you told me was like your dad and you showed up at the dealer. He's like, all right, let's get one.
Yeah. Luckily, my dad was there to help me walk through at the dealership, and they had, kind of the perfect car. So I got the light interior because I never wanted to go back to black interior after living in the South and burning up every time you get in your car in the summer. So yeah, Subaru's great.
Yeah.
And all I want is just a great EV from Subaru.
Should we show the puppies?
Yeah, there are puppies over here.
Yeah, they always bring them for media day. Puppies to play with. I think they're little baby dachshunds from a shelter. Is that what they are? Or
they're labs.
They're labs?
Yeah.
They're such low riders.
Oh, they're just puppies, I think.
Let's go take a look.
I didn't know that these were wiener dogs. No.
Oh, yeah, no, okay. I must have had a weird glance before.
Oh,
They're
those
so
are cute.
good.
I just want to smell them.
Yeah, they're all asleep.
I bet
Yeah, it's
they
a
get
lot for a
so
puppy to play with
quickly.
people all day. Oh, it's so
Look
cute.
at his little
Yeah, his right side's different than his left
Oh,
side.
that's so cute.
So,
Okay.
cool. Let's go show the Solterra.
Okay.
And then I think we've covered all the EVs on display at the Chicago Auto Show at that point.
I believe
1
so.
hour, 10 minutes in. What do you want to tell the audience about auto shows? Do you like coming to these? This is the second one we've been to in a row.
I mean, I like coming and speaking to people and seeing what's going on, but I do notice redundancy. And, if you go to the one, you've kind of been to a lot.
Yeah, I think you go to one a year
Yes.
is the way to do it.
What I would be interested in doing is going to CES next year.
Wow, Subaru has an ancient, this is like the old Clipper Creek,
This is like
like
what-
from the Tesla Roadster
This
days.
is what, if this were at a trailhead, what the Rivian Venture
Yes.
Network should be. Looks like it should be at a trailhead.
Yeah,
Obviously,
you have
this
to
is an
press
auto
to
show.
start or stop. How did this make it in? See, this is where it says to press, but the button's actually here.
Oh, there's actually a button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how this made it, but Solterra.
Subaru Solterra.
Save the best for last, right, Francie?
This is it. If you don't have a Subaru Solterra and you're interested in going electric, what do you think?
6.6 kilowatt onboard charger. Again, very limited DC performance. There's a kilowatt hour counter in a certain time period, so it just can't go on a road trip.
No, and underneath it is the BZ4X, the Toyota
Yeah,
BZ4X.
fantastic all-wheel drive system.
Yeah, of course.
X
They have,
mode, yep.
I'm sure they have different parts of the great Subaru design, like the all-wheel drive. And I don't know, I haven't driven one.
Okay.
So tell me what else.
Yeah, just don't even consider this car.
Okay.
There's so many bad EVs on the market.
It's and then there's so many bad chargers out there in the world. So it's just such an interesting approach. Subaru
Okay.
is doing an announcement, so
Yeah,
we're
let's
gonna
get the heck
leave.
out of here. I think they're saying out of spec, leave Subaru.
You're not welcome here. No, we're welcome here.
Yeah.
I'm a Subaru lover at heart. And I think what I would just love to see, and I think I said it at the LA Auto Show as well, is that so much room for innovation and not coming out with a product too soon just because you want to put an EV on the market. I don't know. What do you think, Kyle? What do you think about auto shows?
I kind of hate them.
Okay.
I don't know why we come. This one was a really curious one to me because I woke up the morning that my flight was and I wasn't going to go. And then I said, let's go.
Yeah.
And
I easily could hop on a train.
Yeah.
So I did an overnight train, and that was fun. So there's always, open to adventure and checking something out. But I think, Rivian is going to do the R2 unveiling. It's just Rivian. Tesla does things, it's just Tesla.
Polestar had Polestar Day.
Yeah, Polestar had Polestar Day. So these just singular events, perhaps they might not even be that exciting either, but
I think that's the way to do it, personally.
it does seem like the way to do it as well. But I think that this is a great thing to do with the family, so can't
If
get
you're
rid
in
of that.
Chicago, come. You can spend a whole day here, sit in all the cars. There's no reason not to come to the show.
But for us who like to drive the cars and live at the cars and test the cars, this is just such a window shopping event.
Yeah, absolutely. But it made for a great podcast.
Yeah.
So we had fun. We got to see everything. It's more, again, networking from my side. We see some of the executives from the automakers. We see the press people that we talk to. We get pizza sauce.
Giant cans of pizza sauce.
What the heck? That is so random.
This is so cool. Well, we might as well wrap it up here with this pizza sauce pan. That is as big as my head.
Amazing. Well, yeah, that was a fun podcast and just a way to
thanks for tuning in.
keep tabs on what's going on in the auto industry, I think.
Yes, so hopefully you liked walking around with us. Usually, we're pretty stagnant in our podcast, not with our topics though. Those are dynamic and always moving. So thanks for tuning in to another Out of Spec podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. And what was your favorite thing that you saw along the walk with us? Would love to know.
What was your favorite thing?
The VW ID Buzz. And the predecessor. The bus.
The old 60s bus.
Yes.
Okay. I think my favorite thing was, don't know.
Really?
Yeah, maybe Raptor R with the V8. It's pretty sick.
You really like what the switchgear is doing?
Yeah, switchgear is cool, but you can't buy it, which is kind of lame. But I do love that they are just like trying to break it to make the next generation trucks better.
I love that approach. A lot of different approaches in the electric space.
Yeah, I think, switchgear is pretty sick. That's my style.
Yeah.
And Ford said I could drive it.
Oh, great. I bet you wish you could have gone to that event.
Yeah, King of Hammers, that would have been awesome. But
let us know if you go to the Chicago Auto Show as well.
Yeah.
Stay warm. Have a great day. We'll see you next time on the next Out of Spec podcast. Bye-bye.